Welcome to Billionaire Bankers, where all content is accountable and verifiable. With my guest right here, would you like to introduce yourself?
Stephen King,
Stephen King.
70 years old,
Looking good, brother.
educated, and have run and owned a business for many decades.
Indeed. We'll go into it shortly, right? Stephen King. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's jump right into it, okay? In a few words, who are you? Please introduce yourself.
Again, I'm Stephen King, 70 years old, grew up in Ohio, had a great education, 4 years of school, majored in marketing, began my career in the mid-70s with a company called Champion Athletics. Was a salesperson with them back in Florida. Did that for 10 years before becoming a partner at the Cotton Exchange, not far from here in Wendell, North Carolina, where we manufactured and sold all sorts of sportswear to colleges and resorts worldwide, nationwide. And in 1995, I went out on my own, began my own corporation, and now we manufacture globally for the company Lego, the toy company, in 9 different countries, as well as a lot of major accounts here in the United States. So my background is sales, marketing, and manufacturing, and it's been quite a ride.
Okay. I guess so.
Economy?
The field that you're in.
Oh, the field that I'm in. Okay, I'm in manufacturing, which requires a lot of moving parts. Not only do you have to create the product itself and have it manufactured per your specs, but then you have to do it at a price point where it's going to be attractive to your clients. And if that works, then you've got to go through the logistics of it, of getting it on the other side of the planet to your clients, again, at a cost that's acceptable. The freight since COVID-19 began in March of 2020 has gone up almost 7 times. Vessel space is limited. There's a lot of corruption in the Far East as far as who's going to get the vessels, who's going to get the containers. It's quite a puzzle to put together every time, but we've been fortunate enough to have boots on the ground in Asia who understand the system, and we have done well with our clients throughout the pandemic and past the pandemic.
So go into that just a little bit. The complications of so do you have to fly a lot to go travel back and forth to make sure your business is running properly? Like,
yeah, I'm old school, and I have 5.5 million miles on Delta Airlines. Out of 92 million frequent flyers for Delta, I'm in the top 100 as far as business that I give them and miles that I've flown. Whether that's a blessing or a curse, it's probably a little of both. But I believe in relationship selling. I believe in relationship business dealings. I will fly to Singapore for a 90-minute meeting with my clients in Malaysia. I will go to Japan, do the same thing. I'll get on a fly to Tokyo, get on a 2-hour bullet train to Nagoya, and I will meet with my clients for 2 to 3 hours, and they're always the same reaction. You mean you flew here for a 90-minute meeting? I go, yeah, I want you to know me, I want to know you, and I want you to know that you can pick up that phone or anytime, 24/7, and know who you're getting on the other end of the line. And my business has pretty much exploded using that concept. I know Zoom's popular, I get it. I have 4 kids and 4 grandkids, I get it. But I am more of the suit and tie guy who's going to get on an airplane. I flew to Vegas recently to take some people to dinner, flew out in the morning, took them to dinner, took the red eye back. That's just how I work, and it has always paid dividends. So, I don't know, I'm pretty old school. I hope you have some younger people who you're going to talk to about business, because I'm more old school than most.
Okay, so let's go into that even further. How did you build that drive? Did your father teach you that, or was it your people who you surrounded yourself with that that goal, that push.
Yeah, that's one of the things when I interview people for positions with me or my company, I look at their resume as a novel. You can write and say anything you want that you like, and I look at it as a novel. What you can't tell in an interview is someone's drive. And to me, give me somebody who's uneducated but hungry and driven. I'll take that person over an Ivy League education all day long. The people who succeed in this world, to me, unless you inherit it, are the people with the most drive. I don't know where I got it. My dad was a World War II Marine, fought against the Japanese in the Philippines. He was a driven man. I guess I got that gene from him.
For sure.
I get up early in the morning at 4 a.m. I'm at the gym at 6 a.m. and I work until about 7 p.m. And I do it because I love it. Just, if you own a business, you never can take your hand off the wheel, ever. And so I've lived by that all my life and felt like my clients deserve the very best from me. So when they see me, I'm in a suit and tie. When they call me, they get a response immediately. When they have an issue, we find an answer for it. I don't care. I have a poster in my office that says, never tell a client what you cannot do, only what you can. And that's just sort of how my philosophy is on business and how my company's going to always be.
Okay, so you've been in the industry for a very long time. What sort of complications have you had?
Well, the complications are what everybody goes through. It's financial. I mean, back when we started getting into the housing crisis, I mean, banks' policies and how you got money was very tough, where I could go into a bank 20 years ago and with my signature get pretty much anything I want. Nowadays, you've got to, hand over your children's, and you've got to have so much collateral that it doesn't. It's a different world now, and so the biggest key is, I've always said to my family and my kids that you can go out of business by having too much business. I self-finance, so I can only do what I can do. I don't want to rely on a bank or a financial institution who's going to dictate to me what my earnings can be or will be. So I always say, slow, steady, solid growth is what you need to look at if you're a business owner. But if you go too fast, I mean, my business almost doubled in the last 2 years, which I didn't expect. And with that became financial burdens. So yeah, it stretched me very thin in order to create twice the product and ship twice the amount of goods. But luckily, at my stage of my life and career, I was able to do that. But people who are in different situations can lose business. If you take too much business and can't finance it, then what happens to your client? The next time they need those goods, they're not coming to you because you couldn't handle their business last time. So it's a real fine line on steady growth. Banks will want to see that also. They don't like the guy who goes up 70% in 1 year and down 30% the next year. They like to see steady growth. So that's just been my philosophy. Maintain my growth and keep it within grasp of what I can finance myself.
All right. Let's see. What sort of financial benefit do you serve to your company?
I give my employees full access to everything that I personally have. I give them the freedoms. A lot of them have families and school, and with us stay at home the last couple of years. I've encouraged them, always put the family first. The business does not rank one for me or should for them. So I give them the freedoms, I give them the incentives for bonuses. I want them to share in the rewards when we're doing well, and we've done very well, and they reap those rewards. And when things are tough, when the pandemic first came out in March of 2020, I didn't release one person. I didn't cut one person's pay. I said, okay, we're in this together. We'll figure out how we're going to manage it. I had millions of dollars of orders canceled or said, I can't take them now. Our stores are closed. Our parks are closed. We've got to either cancel your orders or postpone shipping your orders. And luckily, we postponed them for over a year, but then that was the perfect negative storm because now I've already put the money towards purchasing these goods. Now I've got to warehouse them for a year. That's number two.
Okay.
Number three is I won't get orders for the following year because they're going to be getting orders that they placed a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a real strain on the company and my employees, but thank the good Lord that we were able to not cut anybody. No one got a pay cut, and everybody worked together. We pivoted into some other areas of manufacturing during COVID. It became successful, and we were able to navigate those really troubling months in the year that we had with COVID.
So with that being said, so two things come to mind. First, with that philosophy, with you doing that, I'm pretty sure that your employees, they feel safe with you.
Safe, yeah. I mean, my top 4 or 5 employees have been with me an average of 15 to 20 years. And I think that sort of tells the story right there. They've been with me a long, long time. I got COVID in November of last year and turned into pneumonia and turned into blood clots, and I was rushed to the hospital and told that had I not got to the hospital that Monday, I would have been dead by Wednesday. Well, I was out of it for weeks and weeks and weeks. I couldn't text, I couldn't email, I couldn't take phone calls, and my office said, don't worry, we've got it. And boy, they all stepped up and did a phenomenal job, and I'll forever be eternally grateful for that. That's the character of the people that work with me, and you know, it's a two-way street.
I see. I can tell that your company, the people who you work with, who work for you, they're a reflection of you.
Well, I always say when we go into a meeting, I know superficial things like what you wear. It's still important to me because I'm old school. So if I'm wearing a suit and tie, which I always do, I ask the people that represent me and the company to be the same, on the same level. You're not going to go in with a t-shirt and a pair of jeans or shorts. You're not going to do it with me, but nobody in my company ever questions that, and it's a reflection of the company, and my goal is to always have my company thought of at a certain level, and I feel that a client deserves the very, very best of me and everybody in my company, and I guess, looking the part and being respectful is really important to me.
Indeed. Excuse our wardrobe right now. Now we're
as
in the
we
gym.
sit here in sweatshirts.
Definitely. But
It's early, we're at the gym.
Exactly. So backstory to that. Let's see. How has your company grown since you started?
Well, obviously through the years I've been doing this, almost 45 years, I started as a sales rep, made a commission on whatever I sold. That I did that for 10 years, and then I began a partnership with people at the Cotton Exchange in Wendell, and we built a company from $3 million a year up to $6 the first year, $6 million, then we went to 12 the second year I was with them, and then when we sold the company, we were over 30-some million. We did that about 20 years ago, and that's when I branched out on my own. I was too young to retire, didn't want to retire, and we've grown into more of a less labor-intensive. I don't want to have inventory. I don't want to have production lines that I'm responsible for. I want to create and broker my goods and then not really physically ever have touch them and have them go directly to my clients. That's been a formula that's worked for me for 20 years, and it's reduced a lot of the headaches of inventory. Inventory to a company is cancer. It's cancer. And you see all these fashion companies that have all these great ideas, and in 6 months, they're a dinosaur. That fashion good is no longer popular, yet they've got $2 million of inventory sitting in their warehouse. It's not where I want to go, and it's a really tough business to be in. So I chose to go the other route, manufacture, get the goods to my clients, not have to touch them myself.
Okay, so your drive, which you've learned over the years, would you attribute that to your 4-year education, or just being in the field?
Well, this is going to be, I hope that this isn't going to offend a lot of people. My 4 years of education was 4 years of not having to go out and work and accepting the responsibility or accountability for my life. And I hate to say that, a lot of people, education is important. I didn't gain it. I got a good education you would look at from the outside, but it didn't define me at all. I don't remember anything about what I took in school. I don't remember any class, any teacher. What I couldn't wait to do is get out of school and get out into the world. I thought of college as pregame. I thought of it as preseason. And then once you're out of college, then the game began. And that's sort of how I am. I have 4 kids, 4 grandkids, and God bless the ones who want to send everybody off to great schools and get their educations and masters. Totally accept that and share some of that, but to me it's more like it's preseason, and the real game starts the day they get out of college.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
See, 2 more questions.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. Post-COVID, what sort of changes have you seen?
Post-COVID has really made my type of work harder because of Zoom, and businesses were closed down, and you couldn't go to people's offices, whether even if they wanted to see you, you couldn't do it. So what I did in the interim is I brought people, my clients, into Raleigh, into these beautiful conference rooms with lunches, and made it a pleasant experience for them. I found that they really enjoyed this because they were tired of being at home. They were tired of Zooming everything, and it was refreshing for them that there's a company that would fly them into Raleigh, pay their expenses, have a conference room where you could enjoy each other, wearing or not wearing a mask, that's totally up to you, and then have just the fellowship and the friendship and the business relationship that you want to have. So I did that a lot, and people in my office said, "You're going to spend a fortune to do that." And I said, "Yes, but it's the right thing to do, and I think it'll pay off." And it really did pay off. People loved me saying, "I'm going to fly you into Raleigh on Tuesday. We're going to meet at 10 o'clock. I'll pick you at the airport. We're going to meet from 11 to 1. We're going to have lunch. I'll get you back to the airport at 4, and then we're going to see where it goes." Business exploded. They bought more than they'd ever bought before, and I think it's just because you were thought out of the box. Not many people would do that, and it just paid tremendous dividends. I always tell my kids, think out of the box. Don't be different. You've got to go after what you want. It's not going to come to you. There's no shortcuts to success. You've got to work hard, and that's always been my philosophy.
Okay, last question.
Yes, sir.
The best question.
Yes, sir.
What $1 billion advice or quote do you live by?
I live by several. There's not just one, but I think that the main ingredient to success, and we covered this a minute ago, is your drive. If you are driven, you're going to succeed. I mean, if you think some of the top billionaires, Apple and Google, and a lot of these guys never even, who started Microsoft? Was that Bill Gates?
Bill Gates.
Didn't even have a college. A lot of these didn't even go to college, but their drive was unbelievably strong. I think that if you have the drive and you have common sense and you like people, I say to my salespeople, 2 things have to happen for you to succeed with my company. One is clients have to like you.
Indeed.
And the second part is you have to show credibility. And you tell the story about our company, you'll have credibility. I can't help you with the liking part. That's your job.
Indeed.
But if they like you and your company's credible, they'll do business with you. People want to do business with successful people. And that's sort of how I've always lived.
Listen, that's it. Welcome to Billionaire Bankers, where all content is accountable and verifiable. Stephen King, Corey Bailey.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
My brother.
How was it?
Perfect, my brother.
Was it good?